How to change your circumstances? Are you really determined to do anything to change your circumstances? Do you want to see something better? Or maybe you're not as determined as you think. Sometimes you have to kind of step back and gauge what the priorities are in your life. So, I wanted to share a few tips with you if you're looking to change your circumstances on what you can do. So, if you're new on here, welcome. If you're a returning visitor, it's good to see you. My name is Brooke Oaks from brookeoaks.com, where you can find tips and different things to help you build your business on social media. And this is Denozo, my little co host. If you've ever seen him before, you know he likes to hang out. So, what are your current circumstances? If you look at them right now, in 5 years from now, do you want to be in that same place? Do you want to be complaining about the same things? Do you want to be seeing the same situation? Or do you want to create something better? Do you have a vision, a goal, an idea of something that you want to do that you enjoy, right? Also, be sure to tell me what platform you're tuning in from because I go live on multiple platforms. So I always love to see who's on here. So think about where you're at. Think about the things that are happening. If you want to see something better, what is it? Like, if you think about 5 years from now, a lot can happen in 5 years. I mean, look, if you right now look backwards, look in your rear view mirror and think, gosh, 5 years ago, this is what was happening. Was it something different? Or are you having the same stuff? Were you maybe trying to buy a house? Or were you trying to get into school, or what it was? Facebook user. Hey, I don't know who that is. I don't know why that's his Facebook user, but that's interesting. I don't believe there's like a request thing on here. Interesting. Well, hello, Facebook user. So, what do you want to see in 5 years from now? If you have an idea of maybe a new house, maybe a different job, maybe vacations, maybe traveling, a new car, like paying off some stuff, what are the things that you want to see happen? So you kind of have to step back and say, if I want to see that happen, like if you could put 5 things on a piece of paper and say that, I'm going to achieve those 5 things, right? If you want to achieve those 5 things, what do you need to be doing right now? Do you need a promotion? Do you need another stream of income? Do you need to move to a different place physically, like different house? Like, what do you need to do in order to accomplish that? So think about it, right? If you know what it is that you want to do, you got to look at where you're at, right? You got to look at how you're going to get there. What's the vehicle that you're going to take to get there? Misty. Hey, Misty. It's so weird that it's calling you Facebook user. Interesting. Hey, what's going on? Hey, guys. So, like for me, I knew that I wanted to create more freedom in my future, right? When I started running a business on social media, I had an idea of what I wanted to see happen. Wanted more income, wanted to get tires on my car, wanted to maybe someday have something that allowed me to travel, right? Maybe travel more. I love, if you follow me on social media, you know I love going to the beaches, the zoos, the aquariums. Like, I'm always doing something fun. I've got the horses. I'm always somewhere doing something. And so for me, the vehicle for me is my home business, right? The team that I decided to plant my flag with. That's my vehicle. And it may not be right for everyone, but you have to look at what's your vehicle that's going to get you there. And sometimes people think, okay, I know what I want to do. This is my plan. But technically, they weren't really determined because 5 years go by and they don't accomplish what they wanted. They don't see those changes that they wanted. They don't pay off the things they wanted to. So the determination to get somewhere that they thought was so strong really wasn't. That, like, where they were, and it's not a bad thing. Some people are really comfortable with where they're at and they're okay with that. But if you're someone who really wants to make a change in your life, if you don't go and make the decision to actually take action, you're kind of going to stay stuck. And for me, I wasn't okay with that. Like, I didn't want to stay stuck. I didn't want to have the same things that I did currently. So I wanted to change them. And like, if you've been following me for a long time, I started out in New York, moved to Tennessee, now I'm in Georgia. And it's like each phase of life is bringing something new. Each phase of life is going to bring something better. But the whole thing starts with you've got to make the decision to actually do something. Because here's the thing, if you know that you need to get to the top of a tree to get your cat, or maybe you need to get on your roof to fix something, whatever analogy works for you, if you stay standing there at the bottom of the ladder, you're not going anywhere. It just doesn't happen. If you don't take that step, you will not get there. And for me, like, that was a really big eye opener when I realized, you have to change your perspective. And I know I've been talking about this a lot. A friend of mine, my mentor, Ray, he had said something that's really stuck with me probably the last couple of weeks now. And that is, your personality determines your reality. And so basically, your thoughts, the way you think, the way you feel things, that's going to determine if you're going to take action, right? If you're okay with where you're at and you really don't want to achieve those goals, don't take action. You don't have to do anything. But if you know that you want to create something better, then you have to be like in the trenches doing something. You don't want to stay stuck. So like, for my home business, when I started out, I did like a lot. I learned backwards. I really learned backwards. I did the funnels and the blogs and the websites, and it's all great for long-term stuff. Slowly, now that I've had them for, since 2017, slowly it's bringing stuff in, but that's a long time to wait. So what I had to learn was the stuff that I needed to actually be in action doing. And that's the talking with people and the actual, kind of mapping out what I wanted to see happen and how to get there. So I hope this helps someone figure out if they're ready to make a decision to change, right? It's in your court. If you want to change, you can change. If you don't, you're not going to. It's just how it is. And I think one of the things that really made a difference for me is I have always been really big into journaling. And for a while I stopped. Just because I felt like I didn't have time, that whole time commitment that everyone gets so used to saying, which is really a lie, because if you think about it, the most successful people in the world, the most successful businesses in the world only have 24 hours. So whatever you want to do, you have the same amount of time as them. And the fact that you let that whole I don't have time get in the way, like, that's your own problem, really. But journaling, backtrack a little bit, journaling has been one of the best things for me, because when I got back into journaling, I could kind of give myself some accountability, right? I had an accountability partner to look back and say, okay, I did some prospecting. I talked with this many people. I made some new friends. I got so many videos sent out. Like, I could actually see the progress that I was making. And what's really cool about that is when you see that you're actually doing stuff and you're in action instead of just thinking about it, like when you can see it written down that you did all these things every week, that's kind of motivating for me. I don't know about you, but like for me, that's very motivating. So if I know that I talked with 100 people last week, like, I do know, not if I know, I do know I talked with 100 people last week. And this week, I've already talked to 30 about, different things, helping them build their own businesses, or about like how I'm doing what I'm doing kinds of things. Like for me, it's motivating to know I've talked with that many people. And that just pushes me to talk with more, because if I did it last week with a ton of stuff going on, I can do it this week, right? Whatever you did the week before, you can do again. And what's really cool is also, as you're tracking everything, if you're journaling, you can kind of push yourself to hit different goals, right? So if okay, so like I talked to 100 people last week, why not do 105 this week? I can kind of push a little bit harder if I wanted. You could start it smaller. I actually started off really small with like 1 or 2 people before I got to where I am now. Like I would make sure, okay, 1 or 2 people, 1 or 2 people, but then that would turn into 4 or 5 people or 10 or 20 people. So you can kind of build yourself up if you follow some kind of journaling method. So I hope this helps. If you want to know more about what I'm doing, let me know. Otherwise, great to see you, and I hope you